My name's Marion and my dad John was in here for 4.5 years in Rembrandt, and he was always very happy.
What was your dad's life like before dementia?
He was an optical mechanic by trade, and then he did window cleaning, started that up himself. He got one of the guys at work to write a note to say, I want to come and clean your windows. I can't speak English. Would you like me to come every week or month or whatever? Anyway, he built up around, he did it for next to nothing until he got a deposit to buy a house. So he couldn't speak any English to these customers, and he kept them for years. And then they did fruit and veg. They had a couple of fruit and veg businesses that he started up from scratch just by door knocking, because he couldn't read and write, my dad, not even in Dutch. So he always needed mum or one of us there if he had to write anything or sign anything. So that was amazing that he did what he did, not being able to really read and write. And he'd read back to front, like he would have been dyslexic, but never diagnosed. For someone who couldn't read and write, he was quite amazing. Plus he exercised all the time. He swam all year round at one stage till he got too old. He ran, played competitive table tennis. So he was a very active man. And he never really drank a lot, like occasionally he'd have a beer, but I don't think I ever saw Dad drunk.
Who picked up on those first dementia signs with your dad?
I think Dad knew he had it because he started stressing about finances and driving, and then we started noticing it when he'd think people were robbing him. He just became paranoid, I think that's probably the word. Looking back, I think it was probably a bit of a relief once he got in here, and I never thought I'd ever say that or think that, but I think he was stressing so much at home, and he'd just walk off and wouldn't look left or right when he was crossing the road. So we were scared that he was going to get run over, and I think in his own mind he probably think the same. So I think he just felt safe and looked after. Well, when he first came in, he could walk. He had a stick, and then he went to a frame, and then he went to a wheelchair, and then he went to a princess chair, all in like 4.5 years. So that was a shock. He could talk when he came in, and that slowly declined, and he could swallow, and then in the end he couldn't talk at all. Not really. He'd try and get words out and he couldn't swallow, so he had to have his food like soft. Well, he always loved his food, and then it just looked all mushed. But Jo, the cook here, she did try and add extra taste and flavours to make it taste a little bit more exciting.
Using Teepa's methods like hand under hand, did he benefit from that?
Definitely. Well, as a family, we used to come in and feed Dad because he took so long. It took him an hour to eat most days. So Mum would feed him at lunch 7 days a week, and my brothers and I would come in at night and feed him. So I came to the Teepa24 Conference, and I think Nicolene showed me as well the hand under hand, and I did that, and he felt like he was like feeding himself, and her methods are amazing. Honestly, it was a lot easier. I think it's the closeness of holding your hand anyway, because we've always been a close family, and like as you get older you don't really hold your parents' hand like until they come into a place like this, which is quite sad, to show them that you love them, but you can't express it.
Now, you had an auntie at Rembrandt as well. Tell us about her.
Tante Emmy was Dad's sister, younger sister, and she was always happy as well. She was a happy soul, but she came in here and she was a nurse in a nursing home, so she thought that she was working here. She just passed away before Christmas as well, and she had dementia. They came from a big family. There were 10, so 7 boys and 3 girls. So Dad and Tante Emmy were here, and all the rest were in Holland.
Yes. So it will be do this.
I think what Teepa has brought to Australia, and like teaching Nicolene, and she's got the qualifications now, and what they're teaching the staff, you can really notice the difference, like with the staff when they've done Teepa training. And even family members, we've learnt a lot as well. Like you'd stand behind people and when they've got dementia they can't like see what's going on or whatever, but coming around to the front and like shaking their hand and making them feel important, I think it has made a huge difference. So yeah, I just hope all the nursing homes around the world will use her methods, because it honestly makes a difference.